It's because I'm gonna go.
Yeah, if I trip out, then I'll just do it solo. JJ, what's going on? JJ from Bet Crushers, halftime.
Halftime, loving it. What's going on? This is like we were just talking. This is like living out on the West Coast. Getting these games when you come home from work. I love it.
Monday afternoon football. We've had what, 2 of the past 4 business days. We've had some Pittsburgh Steelers football action. Lack of scoring, not a lot of scoring.
That can be a good thing.
So far, do you have any bets in this game? I hit a live under for Washington under 13.5 total points. So I can take that field goal there.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I did under 39.5 in the middle of my wireless keyboard fiasco where I couldn't type in numbers all of a sudden into the live bets. But yeah, I still got that. Had to go to the phone as backup.
That's the great thing about 2020. 2020 has been a shitty year, but there's always backup phone, 2 phones, 2 computers. You can always find a way to place a bet. I'm just retweeting our live feed right here. Let's pull up some second half lines. I saw right before halftime, it said 37.5 was the live over under. I'm seeing 38.5 at FanDuel, which is going to get us to what's that?
I see 37. I see 37 at Bet Rivers. So there's a big difference.
Too. That is a huge difference.
It's juiced to the over big time, minus 125.
Okay, let me check. FanDuel, juice to the under, minus 118. We're going to pull up Bookmaker, over under 21 in the second half, juiced a little bit to the under. Point spread is just dead flat even. So saying Steelers, who are currently winning by 11. I don't know. I don't know that Washington has a lot of offense in them. And if they do, Alex Smith might be good for a turnover or 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Yeah, exactly. Think about it this way too. I mean, they're reopening this for the second half is basically, pick who you think is going to outscore the other. So kind of interesting. You're seeing the Steelers at plus 107 in that regard. So, kind of if you think that you continue on with the thesis that Washington's going to have a really hard time scoring in this game, then, here you get a little bit of plus money to back it up even more.
Okay. So then what are you thinking here? Team total is out there too. Team total for Pittsburgh, 24.5. I don't think I'm going to take that. Do they have 10.5, 11 points in them? Washington's still at 12.5. I'm already on the under 13.5, so I'm going to steer clear of that.
Yeah. I think this is probably stating the obvious, but with Gibson out, it really makes Washington even more one-dimensional. They're not totally one-dimensional. I mean, Peyton Barber's got experience and all that, but he's backing Gibson up, and it's a tough spot. They're coming from behind. So, man, the front 7 on both of these teams have been very impressive. So the pressure has to worry you if Washington is one-dimensional, right?
It definitely has to worry you. I mean, both defenses are solid. The Steelers, I guess, should have more points right now. They have a 14 spot, but they got stuffed. It could be 21-3. Does that make me want to, lean away from the under? 21.5 is really interesting at FanDuel. I like the 21, but the 21.5, just having that hook is something that I think that I'm interested in.
Yeah. That makes it pretty tough. Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's do that. Unless you're thinking that you want to put in Washington under 12.5, because I have 13.5 already. I'm probably not going to double dip, but if you're going to put it out there, then
I don't know about that. There. I can't commit to that. I don't really know about that. This is tough. This is really tough.
Halftime spreads are very difficult, and we do not have a good halftime total or halftime record. As the banner says at the bottom, our halftime bets have been straight trash. They haven't been great. We did hit one last week. Did hit one last week. I mean, halftime spreads are just finally got one. I hope that we get something tonight. 2 opportunities tonight for anybody watching right now. We'll have another one tonight. I think Schmidt and Coach are going to come on, and then Yachty's going to come on tomorrow. But without further ado, halftime play, are we thinking under?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what are we looking at? What's the best that you can find?
Best I can find is under 21.5 at FanDuel.
Okay. So 21.5,
I like it.
Yeah, I
like it. I like it. And I'm going to put that up. There it is. Second half under 21.5 FanDuel. I think it's going to be tough to get to 21. I think that the Steelers are going to try to grind this thing out. Washington is not capable of really moving the ball. They're averaging 3.7 yards per play. Could we get some points off turnovers? I think that's how we would lose this bet. If there are some points off turnovers.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree because that's just how it goes down. Although, like we talked about, that the second half for that Indy Houston game was ridiculous.
Oh, there were a lot of ridiculous. There were a lot of ridiculous endings yesterday, including the Raiders game. Just ridiculous results too. Like the Chargers lost 45-0 in a game where they were favored, I think, at kickoff.
Yeah. And in retrospect, I've seen a couple of the guys that we follow pretty closely that are have a lot of really intelligent ways of looking at football and handicapping different approaches. Was just like, how could you? It made you feel really stupid for not getting behind New England against the Chargers yesterday. But I mean, come on, did we see 45-0? But still.
Didn't see 45-0. No. Didn't see that happening. I had a solid day overall. Of course, our pretty much any video that we put out there or halftime stream, those bets are losing. But anything else has been great. I had a great
talk
week.
About that all the time. Yeah.
But anything that we put out there live on video or just a recorded video, fucking loses. That being said, hopefully I'm not going to mush this. But tonight we have another game: Buffalo, San Fran. San Fran's ticking up to a 2-point favorite. Buffalo 2-point dog, over under 47.5. Could be a classic teaser leg there, like tease the same game, get an over 41, and Bills up to plus 8.5. Something like that.
That's a good amount of points. I mean, even if they struggle as far as they do have the dream boat. The Buffalo Bills have the dream boat. I mean, they're playing at more or less a neutral type of thing, so it's kind of a weird spot in that regard. But I think it's going to be a pretty interesting game, despite the injury thing. But the 49ers have slowly been getting pieces back. So I think they have the ability to keep it interesting. Yanni gave me a couple little plays on this one. One I will share. If you can still find it, if you could bet third quarter, Yanni's patched in on the Bills. That's his squad. I mean, so he's really in depth on that. And he says they've just been getting hammered in third quarters all season. So he found San Francisco -0.5 plus 130. That was for the third quarter. That was earlier.
Third quarter. I like that a lot. That's something that I was doing last year, is betting on the Niners in the third quarter. Shanahan has great adjustments. I think that continues to happen. That's a great one that I'm going to bet as soon as we end this halftime stream. I like that. I'll probably take a look at some player props also. I'll probably dabble in some, anytime touchdown player props, something like that. I usually do that for Sunday night or like a Monday night game, to make it a little bit more interesting. Just to make it a little bit more interesting. All and speaking of Dreamboat, Rager Dutch is watching right now. He's not with us, but he says Josh Allen is a Dreamboat. So
that's it. That's what I'm saying,
And the reason why I kind of like that tease, that same game tease, which I don't do a lot, but getting down to 41, I think is very enticing. And the bill is up to 8.5. Probably can't get up to 9. Like you could 7-point tease it, but then you're paying quite a bit of juice. But they have a solid offense. I'm not saying could I see the Bills losing by 3, 4, 5, 6 points? Yeah, sure. I love it at 8.5. And with an over under of 41, only way you're losing that is if you get like a 21-17 final. And I think we have more points than that. I'm giving respect to the San Fran defense, but I think we get more points.
Yes, I think the bottom line, I mean, the way I look at this game tonight is Buffalo, Buffalo obviously has the firepower. They have the potential, to be able to, whether it's make a comeback or put some distance on a team or get into a shootout. At the same time, I think San Francisco, they're both well-coached teams, but San Francisco is, Shanahan's mind can exploit defenses that have significant problems with them.
Yeah.
And so I think you have to, you can't, basically the bottom line for me is I can't underestimate San Francisco, even though you look at this on paper and, it seems like Bills should really be able to pull away comfortably with the playmaking ability of the team. But you just can't underestimate San Francisco.
Really important game for Buffalo. They've got Miami nipping on their heels, and an extremely important game for San Francisco. If they win this game, they get to 6-6, and guess what? The 7 seed right now is 6-6. Minnesota, I think, has the 7. Arizona's lurking there. I mean, San Francisco's in this, and if they can get healthy, if they can get their quarterback play together, look out. I mean, this is one of the best coached teams in the NFL. If this defense gets healthy, you don't know what could happen come January, which is somehow like 20 days away, 25 days away.
Yeah, I know. It felt like it out there today, buddy. It was cold.
Getting cold here in the Northeast, although I saw it's going to be a little bit warmer on the weekend, which is a good thing. But, getting cold up here, which is fine. I guess we're just going to stay inside and watch NFL every day of the week, right? Just watch it every day, Tuesday, Thursday. There's a game this Thursday. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled because of COVID, but
yeah, there's plenty of time for something to happen. Yeah.
And then there's a game tomorrow night right now, and Yanni will be on for that halftime stream tomorrow night. Rager Dutch says Monday Night Football doubleheader. What a time to be alive. I agree. What a time to be alive.
It's opening weekend either.
It's not the best year, but there's football basically every night. Dallas, Baltimore. This is another teaser leg. Baltimore's favored by 8.5. I mean, that's an easy teaser leg. I don't see Dallas winning that game. I mean, we'll see.
No, I just don't know. It's weird. Everything's so weird. That's all I have to say. I don't know if I can honestly get very involved in tomorrow night's game. Just everything seems so weird about this. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I kind of want to tease it down and maybe put it in with Buffalo. I'm probably going to do Buffalo same game, and then I'll do Baltimore tease down. And then I'll search for something maybe next week. I don't even know what the Thursday night game is. What is it? New England and the Rams. So that's another game. Rams favored by 6. Yeah. That's another one that you could target, but don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Let's get this second half under 21.5. If anybody couldn't get 21.5, hopefully you got 21. If for some reason lands on 21, you'll push. I like this bet quite a bit. I think we're going to get a win here. Hopefully I just didn't fucking jinx it.
Hey, never say never, man.
JJ, we'll talk to you real soon. Let's get this second half bet.
All right. Good luck.
All right. Just